Hello. So I am going to continue speaking to the wives that I spoke to in my last video about basically standing up and not being yes wives anymore to your husband who um, disregard your opinion as a co-partner in your marriage. I feel it's imperative to come back and talk about how you confront your husband in letting him know that you will no longer just sit on the back burner. I feel that it is imperative to let you know that um, before you go and have a conversation with your husband, you need to have a plan, okay? And you need to be intentional about your plan. You don't want to lose your feminine authority. You don't want to lose your gentle strength and power. You don't want to be like a man, like, yo, I ain't gonna take it no more. No, honey, sister girl. You want to definitely be intentional about being respectful and compassionate towards your husband. Sure, some of these husbands, they know exactly what they're doing. They mean to be emotionally abusive, because essentially that's what it is. If you feel like you have something to say and your man is not listening to you, it's being emotionally abusive. But some of them, they don't know because we never spoke up, right? But now um, you will. And so you need to be intentional about that. And there are three things that I need you to think about before you approach your husband. And the first thing that you need to think about is, how am I culpable for my husband's behavior? Um, why have I enabled him to treat me the way that he's treated me? Look deep into yourself and answer these questions. You've allowed him to get away with this regarding you for so long, and you have to take responsibility for that also. So think about that and analyze the way that you've been. If you're not sure about how to do that, perhaps you can, ask a friend who knows about your marriage or a family member. People are more inclined to telling you the truth when they're not in front of you. So maybe you can send an email and or a text message and just letting them know that you're revising the way that you are as a wife. And you just want them to know if there's anything that they can tell you about yourself as you're trying to be better, right? In holding your husband accountable for the way that he's been treating you. So that's number one. Figure out, find your truth in how you are somewhat to be blamed for his behavior. And number two, chronicle the difference that you think that you can make in your marriage. How do you know for sure, mentally, emotionally, financially, that if your husband were to listen to you, that you can improve your marriage in co-partnership with him, right? And write those down so that you can have them on paper, so that in number three, you also need to be prepared for your husband's response or reaction, both negatively and positively. If your husband decides to respond positively and, look into himself and decide that, okay, maybe I wasn't listening to you and I want to, listen to you now, you have a plan for that. And an example of that is to show him what you've written down, right? And in terms of how you can benefit your marriage. And you also need to have a plan if he decides that he wants to go gung ho on not letting you in. If your husband decides, nah, I'm the man, I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing the way I've been doing it, what is your plan then? Right? You don't want to just go in and say to him, listen, boo, no more. You have to have a plan. And in your plan, you have to be kind and respectful and not lose yourself. As a matter of fact, use the time to find yourself so that when you go to him, he will see you in a different light, in a way that he's never viewed you before, even if he's looking at it in a negative way. You're not responsible for the way that he's going to react. But honey, work on you first before you approach him, because he's no bigger sinner than you are. We're all sinners, right? So you want to make sure that you've changed, you're different, before you go to him and ask him to change and to be different. And regardless of what he says and how he reacts, I also encourage you to get some counseling for yourself. If he responds in a positive way, I would also encourage you to get some counseling for both of you. So you get some counseling for yourself so that you can deal with yourself in understanding why you allowed this thing to happen the way that it happened. And your counselor can help you find yourself and to be more assertive, right? And be a better husband, a better wife for your husband, and a better person overall, because you are at fault too. We are, as wives who lets our husband get away with these things, we're at fault too. And get some marriage counseling too for both of you. So that's just my advice. Yeah, it's good to confront and to let him know no more, that you have something to offer, but there's a way to do it, a feminine way to do it, right? So let me know how it turns out for you. Take care. Bye.